wanted to hop on here and give you a short tutorial on how to make another bracelet, once again using household items. So this time we're going to actually use shoe ties, okay, to make this bracelet, which is going to be super cool, super fun. It could be worn by women or men. This could be a great gift for somebody, especially for beginners. You don't have to go out and buy anything special like yesterday. Remember, we talked about using yarn for our bracelet, okay? We made this matching bracelet for our cute little choker or adjustable necklace using the same bead. And so yeah, I wanted to make kind of the same type of bracelet like this one. And so yeah, if you don't have a bead, that's totally fine. You don't have to put a bead in the middle of your bracelet. That's fine. If you only have shoe ties, that's fine. If you don't have shoe ties, that's also fine. You can use yarn like we did yesterday. You can use twine, like, you know, from your Christmas decorations. If you do have any cord, you can use like hemp cord, or if you have any paracord, which is very similar to shoe ties. So yeah, what else you're gonna need for this particular project? Obviously, you're gonna need your shoe ties. These are 72 inches long. I literally bought this at Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure everything on here can be bought at Dollar Tree. You know, your glue can be bought there. Probably not Gorilla Glue, but you know, craft glue, lighters, tape, shoestrings, you can get all of it. You're also going to need some tape to tape your project down to a flat surface, and some scissors and a lighter. Okay, so I'm a little bit nervous about putting this part on camera because I don't want you guys to burn yourselves, but I'm going to try to give you every safety tip that I have to be able to finish your project if you're going to use shoe ties. Okay, and yeah, that's about it. We can go ahead and get started. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started on our shoe tie bracelet that we've got on right here. Super cute. Okay, so I have taken a part of my shoestrings. I cut off the ends. Okay, I only need about, for this part, this is the base. I only need about, maybe, I'd say this is probably like 1.5 feet. You'll have to forgive me. I don't measure anything. I never get a ruler out and measure, like, literally anything. Even if you've bought jewelry from me before and you're watching this, yeah, no, I don't measure anything, okay? I just never have. So this is about 1.5 feet, give or take, okay? Just plenty right here. Now, I've already taken out on the inside of shoestrings, they've got this like nylon cord on the inside. I want you to just go ahead and gut that out. Just you know, pinch it and pull it out. Okay, we're gonna do that to the other cord here in just a minute. We're gonna call this the base cord. So we're gonna take the base cord down to our flat surface. Okay, just like this, and we're gonna do it on both sides. Okay, leave a tail at the bottom, leave a tail at the top. Okay. All right, this is gonna be way more than enough cord. You're not gonna even need all this. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean about that gutting. So I've got the end right here of this shoe tie. Cut that off and cut this off. And you're going to gut it. You're going to take that nylon cord right on out of there because it's just going to get in our way and I don't want it in there. Okay? You see how you kind of have to like dig in there and then start pulling it out. Here we go. Just like this. Okay? And just keep pulling it out. I do not want this in here. Okay. Now, if you're not using shoestrings and you're using yarn or some kind of other cord, obviously you're going to skip this step. And also, I want you to remember too, that if you're using cord like hemp cord or yarn, okay, or even like this like nylon rat tail cord, that yours is not going to be this is really thick. This is what I would call a thick bracelet. Okay, it's not going to be nearly as thick, but you're going to get that skill down of using the square knots. Okay, so we've gutted our shoe ties. Okay, we're going to find the middle, but normally I would say go from the middle, but this time what I want you to do, find the middle. Okay, cool. So we're going to put it underneath and find that middle. Okay. But what I want you to do, we're going to start on the right side. So I want you to actually pull some of the right side out so that your right side is going to be longer than your left side. That's because in square knots, if you start on your right side, that will be like kind of like what you would call like your working side. Okay, so you're going to use more of this side than you are of this side. Okay, so that's why we pulled some out on that side. Okay, so let's start our square knot right here. So what you're going to do is you've got it underneath your base cord like this. Okay, now square knots are a series of B's and P's. B as in Bobby and P as in Paul. Okay, so you're going to make a B, lowercase b. You're going to put the tail on top of that base cord like this. Okay, you're going to take the tail, whoops, you're going to take the tail of the other side and put it on top of right here. Okay, now you're going to take your cord, okay, and you're going to go underneath your base cord and pull that through. Okay, it's going to make like this pretzel-like shape, and you're going to pull that tight. Okay, now that's one side of it. Okay, you're going to take your other side now. You're going to make your lowercase p. All right, and you're going to lay that down, and you're going to take the tail of the other side. You're going to lay it on top right there, and you're going to go underneath your base cord and through the opening of that P. And you're going to pull it tight. Now, ta-da, you have your first ever square knot. Okay, now we just made the P, so we got to go back to the B. I'm at lowercase b. Okay, this side goes over that tail, and it goes underneath your base cord and through the opening of that B right there. And you're going to pull it tight. Same thing with the P. Make that P, go over that base cord, go underneath base and through the opening of the P. Now this is the part of the video where you're going to have to pause, rewind, and go back about 27 times if you've never made, you know, a square knot before. And you're going to have to go over it over and over and over again, okay? That is totally normal. Even though I've been making jewelry for a really long time, and when I'm learning a new technique or like a new knot or something and I'm learning on YouTube, I have to go back so many times and rewatch it over and over and over again until I get it, okay? So, going to the P. So everything you do on one side of a square knot, you've got to do on the other. Okay? You're going to keep going down, and it's the same thing over and over. Go back to your B. Go over that tail. Go through the loop. Just like this. Okay? Good job. Now, if your square knots are not looking anything like this, you know what? That's totally cool. Just take a deep breath and go back and do it again. Okay, you can always undo these and go back and do it again. If you've got, like, I've got these tiny little crochet hooks that I use for a lot of different things, but you can go back and dig them out and, you know, take it out and start over. They're shoe ties, you know? You're not gonna ruin it, you know. I bought these for $1 at Dollar Tree, right? That's why I wanted to make this video, because when you use just household items like this, you don't go out and buy a bunch of different things to make something. You take the pressure off of yourself to make it perfect the first time, because you're not emotionally invested, okay, into your projects. You know, you didn't have to go out and buy a special thing and find the right, you know, brand or anything like that. You're just using stuff that you already have. And so you don't have any kind of tie or any kind of, you know, this isn't going to be, you know, somebody's birthday gift or anything, unless, you know, you want it to be. But, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is not about stress. This is not about, you know, yo, it's got to be just right. No, that's not what we're doing. We're learning a skill, and we're practicing that skill, and we're having fun, okay? This is about having fun. I want you to make sure that you are talking nicely to yourself, okay, while you're doing this, okay? Here we go. All right, you're creating your square knots, okay? And you're gonna keep going until you got about halfway down, okay? I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible, but you know, I want you guys to see the full process, okay? So I'm gonna try to put it all on camera, okay? Now, when you get to about halfway, and if you want to, you can take this off of the tape and measure it around your wrist and see, oh, like I need to keep going for this many more square knots, or maybe, oh, I need to stop here, or maybe you might even have to take some out because we're about to get to the part to where we're going to put a bead in the middle. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and pause this video because I just realized I forgot to get a bead. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go do that now, and I will meet you back here. All right, guys, I've got some different type of beads I want to show you guys to put in the middle of our bracelet. So we're going to go ahead and untape this, our base cord. And now this is going to be a part where you're going to have to use your lighter. Okay, now you need to be super careful when you're doing this. Okay, when you touch it, you've got to kind of touch it like that. And sometimes I still burn myself. Okay, but I've gotten so used to it. Okay, you got to make a point on the end of this. You see how I'm kind of barely tapping it? Make sure it's not too hot. Okay, and try to make that end as small as you can because you got to put this through a bead. I'm going to try to see if it'll go through here. Yeah, it will. Okay, that's all we're trying to do. Okay, I might use that one. I also pulled out this huge wood bead, if you have any wood beads, okay? Or I also found if your kids may have some perler beads, these perler beads would be perfect because they have a really large hole, okay? I might actually use that one. I kind of like that one, okay? And I've got this little, it might not go. Yeah, see, sometimes you'll get a bead and you think it's going to go through, but it doesn't. This little initial bead, it's too small. Okay, so I don't know. I might use this one right here. This little perler bead. Well, I think I might use maybe this one. I just like the way the color looks together. Okay, so we just got the simple little bead in the middle. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move this up a little. Okay, and then we just continue on with our little B's and P's. Okay, now when you're tightening this up, okay, let's put this back on. You want to get it right around that bead. You want it snug, but you don't want it so tight to where it just like cinches up behind the bead. Okay, so it's pretty snug. So we're gonna keep on going. Okay. And if you don't have a bead, that's totally perfectly fine too. Okay. So make your lowercase b. Put the tail of the other side over that tail. And tighten. Make your lowercase b. Tail goes over that tail underneath the base and pull it tight. Okay, and you're just going to keep going until you have matched the other side. Okay, I'm trying to move this a little. You're just going back and forth. And remember, if your bracelet doesn't look exactly like mine, that's pretty normal. If this is your very first time, you know, you have to really practice to get your tension right. Your tension is very important when you're making any kind of knots, okay? Just like with any other kind of type of, you know, hand making type things, like in crochet or making beaded bracelets or braiding, right? You have to kind of get your tension, but tension, you learn that over time, okay? Keep going until you've just about matched the other side. This bracelet might be a little bit big for me. So that's another point. So you're going to try to keep going until you think it's going to go around your wrist. But also if you kind of run out of cord, that's okay too. Because I'll show you. This bracelet is adjustable. So if you don't have enough square knots to go all the way around your wrist, that's fine. Because I'll show you why. This bracelet is not very heavy. So it'll be just fine. Okay. Keep going. I'm trying to get it to where it'll match. Okay. My tail is getting a little bit short. I probably should have given myself a little bit more room on the other side. That's okay though. Actually, I think that's about right. And see, again, I don't measure, I don't count. So some people might want to count how many they have on this side and then count, but I never do that, ever. In any kind of bracelet making, I never count anything. So I'm not going to do that here. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to make our closure. Okay. You see this part of my bracelet right here? This is what makes it open and close, you know, so you can put it on and off. Okay. So you're going to take these off. Don't throw your pieces of tape away because you're still going to need them. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this right here though. We know that this is what we want. Perfect. Okay. So we made our bracelet. So we're going to go ahead and seat the tails of your square knots, not the base cord. Do not cut that part. Cut the tails of the square knots, and you're going to get them really close. Okay, and we're going to burn them. Please be careful with this part. Now, I'm going to show you. You're going to burn it right here, and you're going to pat it down just using this. And you don't even have to use glue, because once you melt these little fibers together, that thing is never coming undone. Okay, that's what I love about paracord or shoe tie cord, because of this right here. You don't even have to, it's so durable. This is why these are really good for men's bracelets, because I know, like, the guys in my life that I make bracelets for, like, you know, Victor and his nephews and stuff and little brothers, you have to give them things that are literally, like, can be put through fire or, you know, rain, water, mud, because they're, you know, they're guys, they're very active, and so you have to give them things that are very durable or it won't last. Okay, so I've crossed my end. These are my base cords. I'm going to cross them. Now these are really long right now, but we'll cut them down here in a little bit. Okay, and you're going to tape each side down. Okay, so just tape it up here. If it doesn't look totally perfect like mine, that's normal. And you're going to tape it down here. This is your new base. Okay, now you're going to take some cord. This is probably good right here. This is just scrap. This is from making my square knots. I would say this is about 1.25 feet long, maybe. Okay, and you're going to find your middle, and you're going to put it underneath your base, just like last time. Find your middle, and you're going to make square knots over this new base, and this is going to make your closure. So sorry, you're going to make your B, okay, on top, and then this is going to go over that tail, underneath your base, and through the opening of that B. Okay, and cinch that pretty tight. Make your P, go over that tail, underneath the base, and through the opening of the P. Okay, do this, I don't know, maybe 3-4 times. Okay, now your P, and just keep going back and forth. Okay. Until you have a good size of a closure. All right. Very good. And if you want this to be longer, then that's great. If you want it to be shorter, that's great. This is your bracelet. You do it the way you want to do it. And again, if it doesn't look exactly like this, your bracelet at home, that's normal. Okay? You can always do it again. You can always take it apart and try it over, or just get a new set of shoe ties. You know, like I said, they're only $1. So if you do want to make it out of shoe ties and go to Dollar Tree and get some, you know, buy 3 or 4 packs. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to stop mine about there. So we can go ahead and take this off. So very cool. Now we've got our base cords. Very cool. Okay. Now, ta-da! Isn't this cool? Okay. So now let's take these back out again. Like I said, what's cool about this? You don't have to use glue. So not our base cord, not the base cord. We're talking about the cords that made up the square knots. You're gonna cut one side. You're gonna melt the end like so. Like I said, once you melt those fibers together, that's not coming undone. Okay. And what's cool about this is, you know, it's adjustable, so it'll fit anybody. You don't have to worry about, you know, oh, is it gonna fit so-and-so? It'll fit anybody. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to make our little tails. We've got to make the knots so that when you're pulling this, it doesn't go through, you know, you want to be able to stop it. So I'd probably do it about right here. Okay. It might be a little bit big, but that's okay. So you're going to make just an overhand knot like so and pull that tight just like that. And do the same thing on the other side. And, you know, you'll want these to be about the same size. See, I'll show you here in a minute. You see how my knots are laying, you know, not like exactly perfect, but, you know, close enough, right? I'm not going to measure that. Now, if you want to go and measure it, you can. If you're one of those type of people who, you know, it'll bother you if you don't know exactly, that's fine. Like I said, it's your bracelet. You make it how you want. Also, again, you're going to burn this end. It's going to make like a little ball. Please be careful when you're doing that. Okay? You got to touch it really lightly and make sure it's not going to burn first. Oh, this is going to be so cool. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Burn it. Whew. Make that little ball. And let's do it a little bit more. And you're done. I like this one better than the one that I made. See? You got your little bead in the middle. If you don't have a bead, that's fine. And you got your tail. So you're going to put it on. Right? You're going to grab it with your hand right here. You're going to pull it tight. And you've got your very own shoe tie bracelet. I am just in love with this. Now mine's a little bit big because like I said, I've got 5.5 inch wrists, but there you go. Very cool.